Hello, my name is Mike Chapman. I'm the author of Dancing to Nirvana, and I have the website dancingtonirvana.com. And this is my first video, so I'm going to start with a kind of an overview of big picture of my thinking about spiritual life, religious life. And I'm going to start at the beginning in Genesis with the Bible in the Garden of Eden. The tree of life in the Garden of Eden and the yin-yang symbol symbolize the same concept, the unity of opposites. We're familiar with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, and that's the tree that had the apple that Adam and Eve ate from. But we're not as familiar with the tree of life in the garden. And the tree of life symbolizes, again, the same concept as the yin-yang symbol, the unity of opposites. So what is the unity of opposites? Mircea Eliade, professor of religion, said that the unity of opposites is the mythical pattern. He found this pattern in the myth and rituals that he studied. It's also referred to as the mystical pattern because the mystical aspects of many religions have similar ideas, sort of believe in this idea of the unity of opposites. The German alchemist Michael Mayer said that the unity of opposites is the aim of the alchemical work. So in alchemy, that the unity of opposites is the aim of the work that alchemists are trying to do. Joseph Campbell said that the greatest work of the Middle Ages was a work called Parzival by a German knight named Wolfgang von Eschenbach. And he called it the greatest story of the Middle Ages, even above Dante, both because the story was kind of settled and set on earth as opposed to in heaven. And one of the main ideas in it is the idea that the Grail, the Holy Grail, was brought down to earth by the neutral angels, the angels between the pairs of opposites of good and evil. Also, the name Parzival means pierce the valley, like pierce the valley between the pairs of opposites. In addition, a commentary on the Bible, a Jewish commentary called the Midrash Rabbah, says that Adam was a hermaphrodite, having both male and female sex organs, so that the opposites are actually unified in Adam's body. So, what is the unity of opposites? The unity of opposites is the idea that things that we think of as opposites, like good and evil, which are shown in the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden. The good and evil, that you and me, that life and death, are not opposites if we can meditate on the concepts long enough, see them clearly enough that we can see that these concepts are, these aspects of life are unified. That right and wrong, good and evil are more relative, that death is a part of life and life is a part of death, and we have to face death to live life more fully, so that life and death are unified. So the idea would be too that the more that you eat from the tree of life, the more you are moving into the Garden of Eden, into nirvana. The more that you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the more you move out of the Garden of Eden, out of paradise, like what happened with Adam and Eve. The more you move away from nirvana, from the truth of reality. So I sometimes imagine the fruit on the tree of life as being the yin-yang symbol. That the more we eat, the more we understand, the more we see the unity of opposites, the closer we get to nirvana, to the Garden of Eden, to paradise. And Taoism is the religion that created the yin-yang symbol, say that meditating on the yin-yang symbol will create more insights into life than all the words and discussions that you could have. So all these various religions and spiritual traditions talk about the unity of opposites, the importance of the unity of opposites, the truth of the unity of opposites. And they are symbolized by the tree of life in the Garden of Eden and the yin-yang symbol. So I'm going to do a series of videos on various pairs of opposites and their unity, but I'll give you a flavor of this idea. Subject and object are a pair of opposites, but they're actually unified. So what we see, the object, depends on who we are, the subject, on our point of view, on our beliefs. So what we see has a lot to do with who we are and not just what the object is. Examples are humans used to believe that the sun revolved around the earth, but now we know that the earth revolves around the sun. We used to believe that that slavery was ethical and right according to the Bible. We don't believe that anymore. We used to believe that Indians were savages, that they lacked souls. Now we don't believe that anymore. We used to believe that women were less tough and less intelligent than men. We don't believe that anymore. We also used to believe that gay love was inferior to straight love. And we used to believe that God created Adam and Eve, created human beings, and now we know that they were created through the process of evolution. So we don't believe these quaint and vicious myths anymore. That's because we have changed. Our point of view has changed. The object hasn't changed. The world hasn't changed. Women haven't changed. Native Americans haven't changed. African Americans haven't changed. Our view of them has. So it has more to do with us and our egos than what's actually out in the world. So that's the idea. That's an explanation of an example of the unity of opposites. I'll be talking about those more. Other pairs of opposites and how they're unified in other videos. Again, I'm Mike Chapman, author of Dancing to Nirvana, and you can see more about my work at the website dancingtonirvana.com.